Good morning, students. Now we are learning the transition and inner transition elements, the chapter number 8 of the 12th science. Now let us study the common properties of these D block elements. The transition elements includes in the D block elements. You know that in the transition elements are the elements in which there are unpaired electron into the d orbitals. Now these d block elements, let us see first some common properties of these d block elements, that is the transition elements. Now all the d block elements are lustrous and shining. They have good shining. If we cut the metal, transition metal, the shining we observed on that cut side. So these are very lustrous element. You know the copper, gold, silver, platinum, all these elements are lustrous and they are the D block elements. Now these D block elements are hard and have high density as they have the large molecular weight. They have the high denser, they are denser metals. Now you know that gold is the denser metal and these that is the tungsten and all these copper, iron, cobalt, all these are the denser having high density, that is the transition metals. Now third common property is that they have high melting and boiling points. Now as they are denser, they are hard metals, so their melting and boiling points are also very high. They are the good conductors of thermal, they are the good electrical and thermal conductors as they are metals. So definitely they are the good conductors of electricity and heat. So they are good electrical and thermal conductor. Thermal conductor means good heat conductors. Now next property, that is the common property, is all the D block elements have high tensile strength and they have high malleability. Now you know that the tensile strength, that is the ductility. Now when we drawn a wire, now that wire can be of the very that is the thin wire can be drawn from these metals. You know that the copper wires are used to conduct the electricity. They are very that is the thin wires can be drawn from that. So they have high tensile strength and malleability. When we hammer, they are converted into the metals are converted into flat sheets. So they have good malleability and ductility, that is the tensile strength. The next property is they can form alloy with transition and non-transition elements. Now we learned in the last lecture that transition elements are form alloys with the metals and non-metals, so they can form the alloy. Alloy is the mixture of two or more metals or one metal and one non-metal. Now that is the bronze and brass, these are the alloy of the copper and they can form the alloy with the transition and non-transition elements. Now when a steel is formed, steel is the alloy of iron and into that there is the it is the alloy of the carbon, that is the non-metal. Many of these transition metals and their compounds are paramagnetic. You know, you understand what is paramagnetism? Paramagnetic means if the atoms of the elements have, the outermost shell have unpaired electrons, into that they are paramagnetic. When magnetic field is applied on them, they are paramagnetic. But if the last shell contain that is the paired electrons, then they are called as the diamagnetic. But these transition metals are paramagnetic. Remember that these transition metals are paramagnetic. Now next property is of the common property is that of most of these D block metals or elements are efficient catalyst. Now we already learned about the property that they are good catalyst and they are good industrial catalyst. They enhance the rate of the reaction, and many of that iron, that is vanadium, then these manganese, platinum, palladium, all these are very good catalyst. Now let us study about their chemical properties. Now all these we learn the common properties of the transition metals. Now let us learn the chemical properties of the D block elements, that is the transition metals. Now see here on blackboard, all the D block elements are electropositive metals. All D block elements are electropositive metals. That means they easily give the electron from the last outermost shell, and they are all electropositive metals, and they form the positively charged cations. Now again these D block element exhibit variable valencies. Now we know that we learn about the first series of the transition elements, or 3D series of the transition element. They all these scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, cobalt, iron, all these have the different variable oxidation. They all have the variable oxidation state. If we that is arrange these elements and their oxidation state, then there is formation of pyramid-like structure will be formed, because manganese have the highest +7 oxidation state into that, and scandium, titanium, as we go, the 1,1 oxidation state increases, and in this way these D block elements exhibit variable valencies and form the colored salt-time complexes. Now we know that white color is there to the compounds of these D block elements, or themselves, that is the D block element. What is the region? That is the DD transition of the electron. The last outermost shell contain the unpaired electron, or that is they have the less number of electron into the d orbital. Most of the elements have empty d orbitals, and due to the absorption of visible light spectrum, the electrons goes into the, that is the higher d orbital of that same. That means degenerate orbitals are not there, and in this way they emit some that is the some part of the visible light, that is the wavelength, and we observe that color which is emitted by that metals or their compounds. So all the D block elements have the color complexes, and they have the these metals have colored compounds. Now they are good reducing agent by giving the electrons to another elements. They carried out the reduction of another elements. So that means they are good reducing agent, because they give the electron to the other element and reduce that element. So they are the very good reducing agent. They form oxides and hydroxides. Now all these that is the D block elements, when reacts with oxygen, they form the oxide. That's iron oxide and manganese oxide in this way, and they also form the hydroxides also. That is the iron hydroxide, that is ferrous hydroxide, ferric hydroxide. Again they may be formed, that is the copper hydroxide in this way. Now ferrous, that is iron, cobalt, copper, molybdenum and zinc are biologically important metals. They are very important. You know that in the hemoglobin there is the iron, the element iron, there is the complex. Hemoglobin is nothing but it is the coordination compound or complex of iron. And also in the, that is the in green cells, that is in biology, the chloroplast. The chloroplast have the copper, and chloroplast have the cobalt. And in this way, which copper, molybdenum, zinc, all are the biologically very important elements or metals. they catalyze biological reactions. They also catalyze the biological reactions, as they catalyze the industrial reaction, but they also catalyze the biological reaction also. So they are the very good catalyst in industrially and as well biological. Now some difference between the rows or series, somewhat difference is there in the D block element. The elements of the first row, that is the 3D series, differ from the second and third rows, that is the 4D and 5D, in stabilization of higher oxidation states in their compounds. For example, molybdenum and tungsten having 5 and 6 oxidation state are more stable than the chromium and manganese. Now these molybdenum and tungsten, which are the that is second and third row elements, are more stable. Their oxidation states are more stable than the manganese and chromium of the first row elements. The highest oxidation state of the first row elements is +7. We know that in manganese show the +7 oxidation state, but the third row element, that is the osmium, have the again the highest oxidation state, that is of the +8. Remember that. So in the D block element, osmium in their compounds, rubidium oxide, osmium oxide, in these elements form the +8 oxidation state. Now these are about the chemical properties and common properties of the D block elements. Now pay attention here, students. Now we are studying the inner transition A block elements. The A block elements are called as inner transition elements, or they are also called as lanthanoids and actinoids. Now what is the definition of inner transition elements or F block elements? The elements whose F orbital gets filled up by electrons are called as the F block elements. That is, the electrons enter into the F orbital, which is the penultimate shell. Now these elements are placed separately at the bottom of the periodic table. Their position is at the bottom of the periodic table. They are the subsets of 6th and 7th period. You know that in the periodic table, the last, that is the 6th and 7th period, from which lanthanoids start from the 6th period, that is from lanthanum of having the atomic number 57, and the actinoids start from the period 7th period from the actinium having the atomic number 89, and therefore these elements are called as the lanthanoids and actinoids. Now since F orbital lies much inside the D orbital, so these elements in the relation of the transition elements are also called as the inner transition elements. That means since the F orbital lie much inside the D orbitals, so in relation to the transition elements, which are the D block elements, the F block elements are also called as the inner transition elements. Now they have 1 to 14 electrons in their F orbital. The inner transition elements have 1 to 14 electrons in their F orbital. Now let us study the properties of the F block elements. Now the properties of the F block elements are similar to the properties of the D block elements. That is a very slight difference in the atomic and ionic sizes, and therefore the properties are not very different, but they are that is the maximum properties are similar to that of the D block elements. Now electrons are added into the F subshape of n-1 F level into that, and they are placed between n-1d and ns block elements. Lanthanoid begins with the atomic number 57 to 71, that is from lanthanum La to lutetium, and so they are called as the lanthanoids because they have the properties similar to that of the lanthanum. So they are also called as the lanthanoids, and they are also called as the rare earth elements because they are found very rarely in the earth crust. So they are also called as the rare earth elements. The actinoids, that is the begins from the actinum having atomic number 89 to up to, that is the lawrencium having the atomic number 103. Now these are the some introduction of these inner transition element, that is the F block elements, and that is also called as the lanthanoids and actinoids.